Hello everybody, my name is Star. I'm your friendly neighborhood go-go dancer. And something that I have a confession about is that I am not very flexible. Compared to the average person, some may say that I am very flexible, but compared to other go-go dancers, I am not that flexible. I feel like the average go-go dancer is able to get into the splits, and I cannot. When I was young, I took gymnastics, and I was never able to get into the splits. I could do almost any other flexibility thing with my body, but splits, I just could never get there for whatever reason. And that kind of just extended into adulthood with my flexibility. I remained flexible in every other aspect of my body except for being able to do the splits. And since starting go-go dancing, it has been just something that I fantasize about being able to do. So I decided for 30 days, I am going to stretch every single day to try and get myself into the splits. I have tried recording this video many times, and every single time I just can't remain consistent with it. I can do the stretches for 4 or 5 days, maybe up to a week, and then I just fall off the rails and I just give up on the challenge. This time around, I was kind of realistic with myself and understood that there's going to be a couple of days that I am going to accidentally skip. And who knows, I might tack on an extra couple of days at the end. This might be more like a 31, 32, 33 day challenge just to make up for the days that I miss. But I'm just gonna call it a 30-day stretch challenge. Cool? Cool. Let's get into the challenge. So this would be day 10 in a row. In reality, it's more like 9 days because I do know for a fact that I skipped one day of doing this 30-day stretching challenge. I didn't record myself a whole bunch because one, it's kind of boring for you guys, and two, I didn't really trust myself to stay this consistent with it, but I do actually have an alarm on my watch every day to remind me to stretch. So this is day 10, and yeah, I will show you where I'm at with my stretching progress right now, and maybe I'll also put up a little comparison to where I previously have been. The day 1 that I'm showing you right now would be for previous times when I just normally stretch. It would have been way back before I started doing this challenge, but I figured that I would be at the same point at that day 1 compared to this current challenge day 1. Hopefully that all makes sense. Yeah, even the difference between day 1 and day 10, I feel like the difference has gone from here to here. That's pretty good for just 10 days of consistency. So the first 2 to 3 weeks was actually pretty good. I was really consistent. I was really proud of the progress that I was making. It is kind of slow trying to track this progress because it is every day, and being able to get more flexible and being able to get into the splits is slow work. But I was very proud of myself for the first basically 3 weeks. Only skipping 1 day, which is really great and consistent compared to what I've been doing in the past. Hello, today is very snowy outside, so I decided to do my daily stretch in the morning, and by morning I mean at 12:30 when I wake up. And because I did it in the quote morning, I felt a lot stiffer than I normally do. I was feeling a little bit paranoid, anxious about the fact that I feel like I'm not getting more flexible, or at least significantly more flexible, but knowing that it's only been a little over 2 weeks makes me feel better, because I do feel more flexible than I did 2 weeks ago. I just thought I was supposed to be a lot further along than I actually am, if that makes sense. Yeah, going forward, maybe I'll do twice a day stretches. I'll try. I'm barely making once a day, but let's just add that onto my schedule. Week 4 is kind of when everything started falling apart. So week 4 is when I went on my trip to New York for 5 days. And during those 5 days, I was only able to stretch twice. I don't have any footage of me stretching on the trip, because I was mainly doing it really, really late at night when everybody was sleeping and it was dark and I didn't really want to wake anybody up. When I skipped those multiple days in a row, I had kind of lost some of my flexibility and didn't realize it, so that when I went into stretching for my second day on the trip, I think I pulled a muscle in my left thigh. What I've discovered is that with this challenge, you have to be very consistent or else you lose your progress almost immediately. And also you don't realize that you've lost your progress, so you risk hurting yourself. And what sucked about hurting my left leg while I was doing this on my trip, when I came back and continued doing this challenge, I think every time I tried going into the splits on my left leg, I kept re-injuring it. And I kept wanting to make progress for the sake of this challenge, but it really wasn't a smart idea for me to push myself to be more flexible when my left leg was still noticeably injured. Kind of looking back to where I started, you can see on my right leg, my crotch is like hovering about that big of a distance from the ground. And now it is like brushing the ground, which is kind of impressive and I'm really happy about. I think now I have made my right leg as flexible as where my left leg was at the beginning of this challenge. I really wish I hadn't hurt myself on the trip because I feel like I would have been able to sit comfortably in the splits at that point. But now my leg is mostly healed. I haven't checked if it is like fully healed, but I don't really want to push myself to find out and end up hurting myself in the process. So yeah, after reviewing that, I think overall I am pretty happy with the amount of progress that I've made. And if anything, heed this as a warning to be careful with stretching. And as much as you may want to make progress in your splits or any other type of flexibility, it's not worth the risk of hurting yourself in the process. I'm going to keep working on my flexibility. I don't know if I will continue stretching every day. I do like it quite a bit. It's a nice little part of my routine. I don't know if I'll be able to keep up with it while I'm working my day job in a couple months here. Are you guys able to get into the splits? Have you been able to do it since you were very young, or is it a more recent thing? Let me know in the comments. Make sure to like, subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!